back. Wow, it feels good. Happy 2026, everybody. The year of the horse. Nay! Can I tell you something? I want to be sincere for 3.5 minutes. I have never taken 2 weeks off, okay? I gave birth and was like locked and loaded with a mic 3.5 hours later. And granted, like 2 weeks isn't that long of a time. People be like, Jackie, you're a stupid bitch. All you do is talk into a microphone for an hour a week, which is, yes, of course is true. But, you know, besides that hour of recording, I'm thinking the wheels are working. I'm compiling notes on people, places, and things, okay? I am on a cerebral treadmill, if you will. And these 2 weeks of being unable to purge my soul into a microphone and scream at you has been really difficult, you know? And I think the universe kind of showed me what it's like. And I've lived so many lives in 2 weeks, you know, and I'm so excited to chat with you. Here's another thing I'll say, because 2026 is the year of the horse and also the year of the bitch, okay? Like every other year. I'm not doing nice anymore. People are like, Jackie, you've never done nice. Nice doesn't work with you people. AI is coming for our jobs. It's a big, bad world out there. And you know what AI can't do? Be a ruthless cunt for sport, okay? You know what AI can't do? Talk about wedding gallery walls for 14 minutes. I have job security. I have been consuming so much content, way more content than usual. When I'm like doing my thing off the holiday season, I'm looking at antiques, I'm making soups, I'm trying to be somewhat present for my son, I'm listening to other people's conversations. I'm pretty clicked into the world. And for whatever reason, these past 2 weeks have really tested me. And I've been consuming a lot more mediocre, emphasis on the mediocre, and that's generous of me, content. And what I'll say is this: the podcast girlies, you need us, okay? Because everything else out there is so dismal. I understand bed rotting and scrolling TikTok and watching someone like set their concealer. But at the end of the day, you know, AI can replace them, but they cannot replace us, okay? The female personalities behind a microphone for the past 10 years, just screaming at you, delighting you with lukewarm to hot takes. You fucking need us, and we need you. So, sisters in, I don't know, horsemanship, whatever. I spent so much time on TikTok. And I'm watching these videos of these girls tilting their heads, applying their lip gloss, pretending to mess up their perfectly blown out hair, and then hitting you with a sarong on a boat. And I'm good. We're good. If you're watching the video, I'm so sorry. I wanted to come into 2026 looking less busted, but I don't care. And I care even less now that I've consumed 7 million hours of dumb fuckery. You know what I mean? We've got a dead tree. I said, Andrew, we got to get the tree out of there. I got to record. And then I thought, no, Jackie, no. I've got home goods wrapping paper, a strew all over in the back. I said, Andrew, we got to get rid of the wrapping paper. I'm recording. And then I said, no, Jackie, no. Because this is what my fucking office looks like. And this is what my face looks like right now. A little puffy. Perfectly puffy. You know, I haven't turned a new leaf. I'm not looking to improve anything about myself. Okay. If it ain't broke, don't fucking fix it. We're good. We're ticking along. I heard The Climb at the nail salon yesterday, and I thought I've never resonated with any song less. God bless Miley Cyrus and her new teeth. But if you really listen to the lyrics of The Climb like I did while closing my eyes and getting my cuticles shaped yesterday, I can almost see it. That dream I'm dreaming feels like that it's always gonna be another mountain. You're always gonna wanna make it move. I don't want to see another mountain. I don't want to make it move. I don't want an uphill battle. I don't have anything to lose. I don't have anything to prove. You know, it ain't the climb over here. It is the decline, but like slowly, or just the plateau. It's the plateau. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's so good. Voice of an angel. We're plateauing here. And honestly, my only goal for 2026, I'm about to be bitchier. I'm going to be cuntier. I'm going to start naming fucking names. I don't care anymore. I'm a mother and I need to set an example. I'm like clutching my chest right now as I'm saying this because I mean it so earnestly. Nice really doesn't work with you people. I've had a full internal renaissance, even though I present as being a huge cunt on the internet. The truth is that not in my home life, but like in my personal life, in my friendships, and really like I care deeply about the way that I treat people. It's always been something that's very important to me. It still is slightly important to me. But you know, I used to be someone, if I order a vodka martini and they bring me a gin martini, I'll apologize to the waitress for their fuck up and be like, I'm so sorry. Maybe I wasn't clear when I know I was fucking clear. Okay. I'm like one laminated note card away from the most painfully specific martini order that you could ever fucking hear. Like there's no room for error. I'm like violently shaken, shaker ice on the side, a Castrovilcano olive, 2 of them, no vermouth, ice cold, triple. Like I couldn't provide more details. Details are my life. I'm the most particular person roaming planet Earth. Okay. Especially with my cocktails. Like if you hit me, oh my God, if you hit me with the wrong shade of a green olive, my whole day is fucking ruined. So I'm nothing if not painfully specific. And I used to be the type of person that would be like, I'm so sorry. Hey, I'm so sorry. Or, you know, Andrew and I and Clyde were at a restaurant. We waited 33 minutes until someone came and took our order. And Clyde was levitating. And you know what I did? I said, I'm so sorry. I know you guys are so slammed. It's the holidays. But if we could just put some food in. It was 33 minutes. And then I sat in my car replaying this in my head. And I thought, why wouldn't I say, hey, we've been sitting here 33 minutes. Could we please put some food in? I've got a 2-year-old and like, we got to wrap this up. That's not being mean. That's being clear. And to be clear is to be kind. Okay. And I sat in my car just drooling, thinking, why am I so afraid of saying something? Is it because I don't want to be perceived as rude or difficult? I am kind of rude and difficult in the privacy of my own home. So, you know, you're not talking down to people, obviously, ever. That's inappropriate and disgusting. But if you've been waiting 33 minutes, why am I not allowed to be like, hey, we've been waiting 33 minutes. We really need to put some food in. Okay. 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 What is that? 2026, the year of the horse. Okay. I'm bucking at you bitches. Do horses buck? Do they gallop? Do they trot? Do they neigh? Watch me whip, watch me nay, okay? Because I'm not doing this. I'm not playing games anymore. We're not doing it. That is my only motherfucking resolution. What else are we talking about? Here's something this is a PSA for the new year. This is something that's been keeping me up for the past 7 days. We're back. We are so back, baby. I say this with love because this is gonna hurt a lot of people's feelings. If you have the audacity to put up a gallery wall in your home of your wedding photos, A, trouble in paradise. B, broken. C, unfucking acceptable. I don't care if it gives you a little pang in your labia and it makes you feel warm and cozy. Nobody in their right headspace should have more than one, and that's even being generous, okay? More than one wedding photo displayed in a public arena, okay? We're talking living room. We're talking, oh my God, like a dining room. Wait, close your eyes, everybody. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. Okay, because this really makes me upset. No wedding photos in a dining room. No personal photos in a dining room, period, I think. I find that to be so fucking insane. That's insane. Like, what are you trying to prove? No scented candles and no personal fucking photos. And honestly, if you're gonna do a wedding photo somewhere in your home, okay, fine, I'll allow it, but nothing nailed to the wall. Nothing nailed to the wall. Nothing nailed to the wall. That's crazy. You're being fucking crazy. AI will never tell you this. Oh, I'm going to break my desk. Oh my God. Okay. Sorry. Little like mini psychotic break. Another thing. Okay. Thank you so much for listening. The way the way that we have absolutely massacred the sweet, supple sounds of Temper Trap's sweet disposition is something that as humankind, we should all be apologetic for. Sweet disposition. You guys, if I have to hear sweet disposition, a banger, by the way, a bop, a masterpiece, a beautiful, transformative bop. If I have to hear sweet disposition accompanied by some bitch on a yacht staring out into the horizon with a moment of love, a dream, and then you're swinging your kid, and then you're skipping, and then you're laughing with your husband, and then you got a puppy, she got a puppy, and then you're on a boat. We don't do it to Temper Trap. It makes me laugh. I'm going to honestly, Josh, write this down. Can we please make a sweet disposition reel? I need one so badly. It's so funny. It's so funny. Also, like, nobody is funny on the internet anymore. What's going on? What's happening? You know what it is? There's this looming, I'll speak for myself and like not really because tempt me with a good time. I feel like there's this looming cloud of time that like soon AI, whatever, is coming for our jobs. And we're trying to just throw noodles at the wall, hoping something will stick. We're all trying to like pivot instead of just riding the fucking course and having conviction and confidence in yourself. And we're like, maybe we do this. Maybe we start doing links. Maybe we do that. Maybe we try this. And it's feeling desperate. It's feeling scared. Nobody wants a fearful consumption. You know, we're looking to escape. We're looking to laugh. Crank it up, hoes. Crank it up. It's the year of the horse. Crank it up. And this is applicable for everybody. Anyways, what else are we talking about? Oh my God, this is my absolute favorite article that has come out. And then I'm going to give you a full holiday recap because a lot has happened. And you know that this bitch likes to disassociate. I'll take a traumatic event in any capacity, low trauma, heavy trauma, and I package it up. I put it in a little box, okay, like a cute box. And then I go to my home goods wrapping section and I'll wrap it in, you know, like a brass crocodile paper, perhaps a sage green velvet. And then I'm going to hit you with a coordinating bow. Maybe we're going gold. Maybe we're going fuchsia. Maybe we're going burgundy. I'm going to tie it up in a little bow and then I'm going to put a gift tag on it, an embossed gift tag that says, for no one. And then I'm going to slide it. I'm going to bury it so deep in my subconscious. There she goes. There she goes. Now I've given you 3 vocal performances. I did have a shot of NAD that was left unrefrigerated for a few days because I didn't have power all of Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. We'll get there. So I might have just injected myself with expired NAD and we're just going to see how this goes. My absolute favorite article that I read, and I actually read it, which is crazy because I don't read any articles. I am a headline kind of hoe, okay? I read the top line. I make a general consensus based on no information or reading. And then I broadcast it on my podcast because I'm a responsible journalist. There is an article that came out on The Cut written by Ashley Tisdale about how she broke up with her toxic mom group, okay? Kind of a popular mom group in Los Angeles that allegedly is with like Hillary Duff, Mandy Moore, Meghan Trainor, some other girls. And she basically explained that this mom group that once felt like supportive and like, you know, a village and a tribe, and they all had kids around the same age, started to feel like high school clique dynamics and a hierarchy and separate group chats and, you know, gatherings, get-togethers with the kids and then separately with just the moms, and she'd be home alone crying because she'd see that everyone got together without her. And before I read the article, I was like, hi, you're the problem, it's you. Who is calling me? Hold on one sec. Sorry, I'm just switching Clyde's pediatrician because the other one is like basically dead. What was I saying? And Clyde was having anal leakage all last week at Disneyland, so I just needed like a pediatrician. Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. Back to the toxic mom group. when I first read this, I'm like, you're the problem. Okay. Because I inherently have a problem understanding people who get upset when they're left out of things. I truly operate my personal vessel as like, if I'm not invited to something, thank you. And B, you should be so lucky. You know what I mean? I'm a great hang and a great vibe. So if I'm not invited somewhere, I just feel bad for everybody else. And that is the delusion that keeps me ticking along just fine. But I feel it in my bones. And I don't have a lot of empathy. And I'm really working on this / not working on this at all. I have realized that I don't have empathy for people with low self-esteem. And I kind of like hit a certain level where I don't know how to dig deeper or into like my empathy well, because instead of being like, why are they self-conscious? Why does it make them sad? Maybe they had a rough childhood. Maybe they have demons. Maybe they had abusive parents and emotional turmoil in the home. Like, I can't really get to those layers. And it's something I fabricate very well in conversation with strangers and friends, etc. Like, I can feign, getting too real. I can feign empathy, but if I really sat with myself in isolation for a long period of time, I can't get there. Now, the good news is that I practice what I preach, so I don't expect that level of empathy, but I also can't give it great. So when I see an article like this, my first baseline thought is, okay, well, she needs to grow the fuck up. It's a big bad world out there. Who cares? Like, literally, who cares? Okay, you didn't get invited. Like, why is that so uprooting to you? Why does that make you so upset? Like, because I don't understand it. And we are working on it. I'm trying to fabricate it more so my son has better empathy levels. But baseline, I don't really care. But then when I started to read the article, I kind of liked the tone. I kind of liked the language. I still barely understand why anyone would be upset about that. But alas, now if you go on Reddit, okay, and you kind of do a little deep dive of like more information about this article, apparently what happened is that Ashley Tisdale, we're playing devil's advocate here, okay? So she writes this article about the cut. Everyone puts the pieces together. We all go Claire Danes in Homeland. We're like, she's talking about Hillary Duff. She's talking about Mandy Moore. She's talking about Meghan Trainor, although she still follows Meghan Trainor on Instagram. So we can kind of alleviate that. You can go back. You can see all the pictures of them in their matching pajamas and their s'mores and their wine dinners and this, that, the other thing, okay? Now, if everybody else is the problem, most of the time, it's you. You're the problem. It's you. If it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, quack, quack, you're the cunt, right? It's the common denominator theory. We've all heard it. We all know it. If everyone's got a problem with the same bitch, ding, 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 ring the alarm. But apparently, based on a quick little Reddit search on the turlet earlier, I guess the shift happened with the Toxic Mom group amidst the California wildfires, the Altadena fires, the Pacific Palisades fires. Mandy Moore loses her home, okay, seeks shelter at Hillary Duff's home. Now, the mom group is all very supportive of Mandy, taking donations for fire victims, all very vocal publicly on social media about just, support for the wildfire victims, community, can drives, clothing drives, seeking shelter, donations, pet relief, all of the things, okay? Ashley Tisdale around this time is building a vacation home, and she's not stopping for nobody, okay? She shares allegedly minimal condolences for the people that have lost their home, and then post something on social media about how appreciative she is to have a second home and how excited she is to continue renovating her vacation home. Now, that's camp. That is hilarious. There is a way to do it. You know what I mean? Like, sorry, your house burned down, Mandy, but I'm just picking out faucets. Are we going brush brass or unlacquered brass? Vacay home. Like, that is, by the way, so fucking funny. And I'm going to say something that I'll probably regret saying. If I had a friend that lost a home in the fires, obviously I would give them everything I could. I would let them seek shelter. I would do everything that I could do to help. But after a couple months, if I was building a vacation home and you think that I wouldn't be sending like updates and house tours to my best friends being like, hey, sorry, your house burnt down. Do you think I should wallpaper the powder room or should we do an antique mirror tile? If you think that I wouldn't be sending that to my best friend that lost their home in a fire, you are dead fucking wrong. But I also surround myself with different kind of gals. You know what I'm saying? Gals that would think that was funny. They would tell me to go fuck myself, all of the things. That's friendship. Obviously, Ashley Tisdale and her toxic mom group allegedly don't have this type of rapport. I would also like to say this. I'm not part of any mom group. My best friends are my best friends. We all happen to have babies around the same time, but our identifiers aren't as we're friends. We're not moms. You know what I mean? And when we get around each other, the last thing we want to do is talk about our motherfucking kids. In fact, you know, we all make a huge conscientious effort to chuck those fucking kids, except when we selflessly planned a holiday excursion to Disneyland. Okay. Which seemed like a great idea in theory, but in execution was riddled with trauma, feces, and churros. Thank you so much. Let's get into the holiday recap, okay? 2025, despite not having a sweet disposition temper trap reel to post, was an amazing year for me, okay? I don't look at years as good or bad. I think all of my years have been pretty great. I think if we're breathing, we're living, we're laughing, we're loving, great. You know, check the box. The year my mother died, not ideal. But up until that point, pretty fucking great, okay? 2025, a banger of a year. My son, like, kind of hit his stride. We hit our stride as a family. You know what I mean? We've got things figured out. Andrew had a great year. I had a great year. We traveled. We toured. We, you know, just had a easy breezy, fun year. Not a lot to report, okay? In a good way. And the way that we ended 2025 was like a myriad of plagues, okay? It was kind of like Passover over here. Locusts, blood, vermin, okay? First, I get back from Paris. We had a slight rodent infestation, okay? The rodent went bye-bye. We don't know if it's a mouse. We don't know if it's a rat. We don't know if it's a raccoon. We didn't know if it was a guinea pig. We don't know what it is, okay? But she went bye-bye when Jackie got home. When Jackie returned from Paris with her Jessica Simpson bag and 500 purses, which have slowly been trickling in, by the way, because I'm not doing a haul, but you know, I made a couple orders that needed to be shipped to the home. We got some silverware. We got some scarves. We've got so many clothes. I don't even know what to do with myself. We've got bags. We're done. It's a wrap and we're done for a while. No more shopping for Jackie until next week. Conveniently, my sister-in-law, who I absolutely genuinely adore, one of my favorite people, like love her so much, can't even take it. Would take her in a burning building over Andrew any day. Just easy, low drama, great sense of humor, easy to have in the house. Okay. She moves in with her husband and her 3 children, family of 5 on December 20, was it 23rd or was it 22nd? I think it was December 23rd. Okay. They check into the Chateau Schimmel, and we have been planning for this. We are going to have a big cousin Christmas morning. We've got stockings. We have gifts. All the kids are going to Disneyland. They have no idea. We have these little tickets printed out for them. I go and I have a local chef make all of the like breakfast souffles, frittatas, pastries that I had from France that were proofing. So we'd have like French chocolate croissants in the morning, eggplant parmesans for Christmas Day, caviar, pâtés, cheese board. Like I was like, this is a Home Alone Christmas. Okay. Except we're unfortunately not Home Alone. Very packed to the brim with people. We've got matching pajamas. We've got twinkle lights, like everything you could imagine. I have it locked and ready to go. They check in on the 23rd. We wake up the morning of the 24th. The morning of the 24th. The power goes out at 7:38 a.m. Okay, lights out. So I'm thinking, like, this surely has to be just like some slight glitch. It is torrential downpour. Okay, it's raining. Wait, no, I gotta back up. First, we wake up the morning of the 23rd. My brother-in-law knocks on our door. Okay, and goes, "Hey, Jackie, Andrew, sorry to wake you guys up. The pool is overflooded." We open our eyes. We look outside at the mosaic dolphins. The rain is so heavy that our drains can't keep up. Our pool is completely overflowed because God forbid Andrew, do any type of pool maintenance in a timely fashion. She loves a disaster. She wants to put her galoshes on and, stare into the abyss and tootle around and fuck up a pipe. God forbid we take any course of action that is preemptively fixing something. It never happens. It never will. It makes me laugh, whatever. So the pool is totally overflooding, okay? And the water is not coming into the house, but simultaneously we have a roof tile that needs to be replaced, and it's pouring so badly that now water is coming into the bar from the roof. And the soffit above the bar is filled with water. Like, you can touch it and it feels like Play-Doh, which is no big deal. It happened the last time it rained about a week ago. We can't rip it out. We have to wait till the rains are all over. And honestly, I was thinking of creating an arch in the barway just to soften the lines of the house and also add suspension, unlacquered brass and smoked glass shelving so I could display glasses. So it was kind of working for me, not against me. And all of the phone lines, all the electrical lines, I should say, in my neighborhood are underground. So we have virtually never lost power. If we've lost power, it's been for 20 minutes while they were testing something or high winds or whatever. It was on purpose. They turned it off. But, yeah, so we've never needed a generator. People in my neighborhood don't really have generators. It's just not a thing that's ever come up, okay? So we're nearing about an hour and a half of no power, which is not great with 4 children locked inside, pouring rain. And it comes back on around 9-ish. We think, oh, okay, great. Let's go out. Let's get breakfast. Let's go do something, whatever. The power then goes out subsequently 20 minutes later and did not turn on, okay, till Christmas Day at 5:15 p.m., which is after the sun has set, okay? Now, in our minds, we are having this beautiful, wholesome family Christmas morning and have prepared for such. Like I said, the matching jams, the Disneyland surprise, the twinkling lights, okay? Cut to Christmas morning. We're all grasping at the walls like full-blown Helen Keller, okay, dodging rodents, because guess what? The rat/mouse or whatever the fuck it is came back just in time for Christmas morning, okay? So we wake up on the morning of the 23rd and we see some little critter has ripped up one of the fucking presents, and it wasn't a child. Little claw marks everywhere, okay? Once again, the mystery of the rat is that there are no droppings, but there are signs, okay? There are crumbs, there are little claw marks. It's something, but whatever it is, it's a constipated rat because we're not seeing any type of a dropping. Don't send me DMs about what you think it could be. I don't care. I don't want to know. I want to live in the dark. They've since evacuated since Christmas, just in time for the electricity to come back, okay? Meanwhile, my sister-in-law, who's just wholesome and positive is like, we're lighting candles. It's fun. It's like camping. And I'm like, my pate's going bad, bitch. Okay. So what do? I take my caviar because I had 3 tins of caviar. I had one for Christmas Eve. I had one for Christmas Day, and I had one for New Year's Eve. Okay. I wasn't going to let that shit spoil. So what do? I get some ice packs. I go to my car. Thank God I have a fridge. Imagine the horror. Okay. I start compiling caviar in the car to keep it cold because I have motherfucking priorities. I also grabbed a couple NAD needles. The center console of my car, content is my life. You never saw it on Instagram because I didn't want anyone to know that I was keystering caviar in my car because, I didn't want Andrew or my sister-in-law to be like, oh, like, let's save this for the kiddos. No, I have minimal car fridge space. We're only taking the classics, okay? So I start shoving caviar in my car. I'm watching all of the food that I had like so violently planned and orchestrated for wholesome memories and family fun just slowly rot to shit. Okay. And all the while, my sister-in-law is like, as long as we're together. And I'm thinking, my fight or flight response is to cut everybody loose, go fully untethered, and check into the nearest luxury hotel and fuck all the way off and pretend nothing is happening. But when you're rolling with a group of 8, it makes orchestrating things so much more difficult. We can't just like check. We need 3 rooms. We need dinner reservations. We need lunch reservations. We need, it's a private room at 8. You know what I mean? So I can't just be like, bye, I'm going blank. I'm going to the Inn at Maddie's Tavern. I'm going to the Beverly Hills Hotel and having Christmas dinner at the Polo Lounge, disassociating, pretending it's 2026. We're all in this together, which is like the most haunting. That's just not my thing. I live pillar mentality, and the things like my whole thought process and my form of Zen is knowing that I could cut ties with anyone or anything at any time. You know what I mean? I don't like to be tethered to a disaster. I don't like communal grieving. I don't like communal catastrophe. Okay. I don't find solace in a village. Okay, Ashley Tisdale, I find solace in being able to cut and run and do what's best for me and my son at any time. Okay, and usually what's just best for me because I'm a selfish piece of shit, basically. But as long as we're all together, I'm like, I'm miserable. Can I go? So eventually we make the judgment call. I said, you know what? We're going to go to the Four Seasons in Westlake, which is right down the street from my house. They have an indoor pool. It's raining cats, dogs, and horses. Nay, okay? The kids can go swimming. We can get overpriced chicken tenders and Bloody Marys. We can hole up there. If the power is not back by this evening, we're checking into this hotel, and that's what's fucking happening. Because when you're in a large group, somebody has to make the judgment call. When you're doing nothing, when everyone's just deciding and weighing out options, like there has to be one person that like takes the lead, okay? Because if everybody's in charge, nobody's in charge. One person has to step up and say, this is what we are fucking doing. Get on board or get off the ship. You know what I mean? So I start getting internally very anxious. I'm like, now we're without water. We're without light. We're without food. Okay, it's now Christmas Day. Everything is fucking closed. So, fight or flight, we're going to the Four Seasons, okay? We all get there. We get a notification that the power is back on around 4:30 p.m. And when I tell you that I got back to that house and I was dumping those rotten eggplant parmesans, but I was so happy. We ordered in Tavernatonis. Okay, did we get Tavernatonis? Yeah, we did Tavernatonis, which is like a great Greek restaurant in Malibu. They have the most gorgeous garlic house, or like a caviar garlic dip that you dip in bread. I was rubbing it all over my body like in a face mask. We sat down, we lit the fireplace, we watched The Holiday. I had the frothiest martini. I took out my caviar tin from my fridge and I thought, we did it, Schimmel. We did it. Things are turning up, okay? Brightness is ahead. Brighter days are ahead. Now, granted, people are, living in cages and losing their limbs and being bombed, but we didn't have electricity for 2 days with a house of 8, and it was rough, guys. It was really rough. So we're back in business, okay? And We give the kids their Disneyland tickets. They're all so excited. I realized I never had shown any Disneyland memorabilia to Clyde, so we did a crash course, Mickey Mouse Playhouse, whatever. And he was going, Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, Goofy, Donald Duck, Wides. I'm going Wides. And I was like, oh, God, perfect. Okay. So my sister-in-law, my brother-in-law, their kids, Andrew and I and Clyde, my best friends, Michelle, Virginia, all of their kids, their husbands, we all check into the Grand Californian Disneyland Hotel, okay? It was so brutally expensive, but it's the only property that is right, like, connected to Disneyland. So you get private entrance, you get early entrance. Our guide was going to meet us there. We were all like, we're doing this once. Let's do this right. We're going to get the guide. We hire the guide for 10 hours, which was a mistake. If you're going to Disneyland, you're getting a guide. You don't need him for 10 hours. It's ridiculous. You can see everything. You do everything. You're circling the drain at this point. Just take that money and go have 85,000 martinis somewhere because you will need them after a day of Disneyland with that many fucking children. Okay. We get to Disneyland. Clyde is so excited. We check into the Grand Californian Hotel, which is, I hate to even say this out loud because it's so pathetic and embarrassing. And it feels like a brag and money and gross, but like you have to understand these parameters. It was $2,200 a night. $2,200 a night. Now I want you to close your eyes and just think about an airport hotel in an undesirable location, a la 1996, okay? Bare bones, nothing fancy, prison mattresses, just no fluff, no luxury, not a morsel of luxury in this fucking hotel, okay? That was the room. But we figure if the kids need to nap, we can easily access our rooms, come back to the park. It was the most efficient way to do it. So we all lean in and say, we're doing this. We're doing it once. We're not doing this for many, many years. Let's go. We check in. We're disappointed, whatever. It's fine. We're at Disneyland, the happiest place on earth. We also got so lucky with the weather. It was raining all week. On the day we get to Disneyland, it is 70 degrees. We're in shorts and t-shirts and the sun is shining. And we're like, oh God, we must be good people. We deserve this. Okay. So we get into Disneyland. We go on our first ride, which is like a Buzz Lightyear kind of like airplane ride. I look back at my friend Michelle. I'm on the ride with Clyde, who's having the time of his life. I start like the vertigo kicks in immediately. Okay. And I'm like, you know what? Jackie don't like rides. Jackie don't like spinning rides. So Clyde's like, wow. And I'm just closing my eyes, going back to my Helen Keller roots, a la the, electricity blackout of Christmas Day. And I'm just closing my eyes and being like, we're good. We're good. We're good. We don't have inner ear problems. We don't have vertigo. We do not want to jump off of this thing. We're fine. Clyde's fine. We're having a good time. Woo, woo, woo. Okay. We get on the next ride. We're hitting these rides like nobody's business. Okay. We have an amazing guide named Adrian who's after the first ride waiting for us with a tray with cold brews, lattes, matchas, like whatever beverages we want. After every ride, he's just got a mystery tray of like Disneyland treats, churros, ice cream bars. Okay. Now I should say I'm not like a super strict, well, that's not true. I would say I'm on the stricter side of a parent and I'm pretty like disciplined with what Clyde eats and what he consumes. I do no individual screens whatsoever. He's almost 2.5 years old. That kid has never held an iPad and never held a phone. I don't allow it. It is the only thing I care about. I would rather him be eating sticks outside or like playing in a sewage system and like doing some type of a synchronized swimming routine than with a screen. I feel so strongly about it. That's just my thing. There's no judgment. I just feel like he's a really creative kid and I want to nurture that. And I want him good at restaurants. It's not my thing. Okay. That's one of my pillars of parenting. My second pillars of parenting is that, I like him to eat healthy. I'm not like someone who will never give him sweets. Like we'll do croissants, we'll do pastries, we'll do cupcakes, but I'm not someone that's like pumping him with fruit roll-ups, popsicles, cookies. I don't buy it. Therefore, he doesn't have it. He'll eat fruit. He'll eat broccoli. He eats salmon. He loves sushi. He'll eat sardines. He has like a very sophisticated palate, which makes my life easier because when we go out to dinner, he'll eat anything. He'll try anything. He's not a picky eater. And I pride myself on that only because it makes my life easier. It all goes back to ding, 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 but ding, ding to Jackie. Okay. So we get to Disneyland and I don't care anymore. We're at Disneyland. Obviously, there's always a time and place. I'm not someone that's like, steamed broccoli for the lady. Like, we're at Disneyland. You're going to have a churro. You're going to have your chicken tenders. You're going to have the tater tots, like whatever. And he, historically speaking, has a stomach of iron. This is a kid that eats more than a 700-pound man. He'll eat fucking anything, okay? And so I wasn't like overly concerned. He doesn't have a history of getting sick. Like, he really does have a stomach of iron just like me. So I wasn't worried about it, okay? We go and have lunch. We've done like 4 or 5 rides. He's having the time of his life. And we're about to get on what is it? Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. And I get a whiff of something. And I'm holding him and I look down at his pants and he's drenched. And I'm thinking, and I'm smelling, did he take his diaper off? Or, because we have not ventured into potty training yet. I still got a couple months left. Don't at me. Don't. We will get there when we get there. It's not the time. Thank God it's not the time. I look down, his pants are totally wet. I get a whiff and I'm like, that's poo juice. Okay. And I'm thinking, maybe the chicken tenders didn't sit well, or he had too much fruit, whatever. I say, Andrew, we're going to sit this one out. Let's like go change him. We throw out the pants. I am now running through Disneyland trying to find any type of pants in his size because he's just naked at this point because the pants were unsalvageable. I wasn't going to walk around all day. This is at the very beginning of the day. I wasn't going to walk around all day with shit pants. You know what I mean? I'm like, just remove them. We'll get him a fresh pair of these disgusting. Really, the true tragedy of the day is that my son had to walk around in Lilo and Stitch sweatpants. Somebody went up to me. They're like, oh my God, what a cute little outfit. I'm like, no, he shot through his pants. I got these at the gift shop. I would never. But I did get him like this really cute, like burgundy Mickey Mouse set from Zara, which I was like, this is only minimally embarrassing. But the Lilo and Stitch, I was like, that ain't my kid. I didn't have to use the child leash, which was really exciting. I did have it, but I did not use it. You're welcome. So we get the Lilo and Stitch pants on. Business resumes. We go on the next ride. We're on It's a Small World. We go on the Star Wars. We do the this. We do the that. Again, liquid shits through the pants. Okay. He proceeds to liquid shit 5 or 6 more times. And we're kind of just going with the motions because all the while he's lunging at those churros. He's grasping at those pretzels. He's hurling his body at that popcorn. So he clearly doesn't have an appetite issue and he wants to go on all the rides. He's on the Winnie the Pooh little roller coaster and he just goes, Moa rides, mommy, Mo rides, peace. And I'm like, I'm not going to remove him from the situation. He had no other symptoms. He didn't have a fever. He wasn't lethargic. He was ready to rumble. He was just shitting his pants. Okay. Maybe something in the Disneyland air loosened his colons and he was so relaxed and having such a good time that the feces was just flowing like what's it called? The Longhorn ride, the Bayou log ride, the log jammer. Okay. So we're just buying new pants. Jackie, how much money did you spend on Lilo and Stitch sweatpants? They were the only pants that I could find in all of Disneyland. Thank you so much for asking. Each pair was $39.99 and we went through about 3 pairs. So I spent roughly $118 on Lilo and Stitch pants because, to leave the park, time is money when you factor in the guide and how much money that is per hour. For us to go back, give him a horse bath and then put him into new pants and then bring him back and then meet up with the crew and then miss the rides. It just didn't make sense. It wasn't making sense. Okay. So we end up cutting the guide at around 4:30. We were supposed to have him till 7:30. God love Adrian. He's like, okay, like we can go save seats for the parade. I was like, is the parade worth it? At this point, me and my girlfriends we would have sucked the vodka out of a sponge from the Blue Bayou, from Pirates of the Caribbean. I would have taken a spoon and drank the Pirates of the Caribbean water if there was even 3% alcohol in it. I was like, where the fuck can I get a martini? Stat. Okay. My son has shat his pants 14 times. There's so many children. Let's talk about not the children at Disneyland. Let's talk about the groups of adults at Disneyland around Christmas time. None of them know how to walk, okay? And not to be rude, I'm not going to say it. I'm going to say something that's rude as a woman who fluctuates. If you're a wider set person, okay, and you're rolling 4 to 6 wide people deep, okay, just flew in from buttfuck nowhere. You've got your bedazzled ears on. The amount of adults, groups of adults that I saw in matching Mickey Mouse outfits with no children present is a whole other Megan's Law conversation. Who tickled you as a kid, where now the only place that you can find joy is at Disneyland? Separate conversation, no judgment, lots of judgment. If you're a wider person, okay, with a large group of people, you need to learn how to walk in a public space. You don't walk horizontally. You walk staggered. You walk in a line. You walk a Noah's Ark 2s by 2s, okay? But you don't walk blocking an entire walkway, okay? Wide load in a line in unison. That's insane. People have pants to change, diapers to change, churros to acquire, lightning lanes to attend to. You're a slow person. You're slow, you're stupid. And instead of going to Disneyland, you need to go to Barnes & Noble and get a hooked on phonics software program. And you need to take the fucking course, because you need to understand that in the world, you can't walk with 6 people in a horizontal line in a huge amusement park that is oversaturated with humans, because you are delaying the flow of traffic. And the fact that you can walk, and by walk I mean shuffle, okay, shuffle and chafe so casually through an amusement park where children are chomping at the bit to get on the next ride, and you're just shuffle-uffling to the Pirates of the Caribbean, it's baffling, okay? It's why Darwinism exists. And guess who's the first to go? Shuffle-uffle-uffle-uffle-uffle. Walk. Single file. Move. Blows my mind. I literally say this to Clyde. I'm like, do you see these people? I was like, do you see how these people are walking? Walk with a purpose. I can't. Anyways, what was I saying? Adrian, our guide, around 4:30 is like, okay, well, I'll go save you guys seats for the parade. It'll be about an hour, but we're going to have to sit down. It's going to take about 45 minutes. I said, I don't know if we can all sit for 45 minutes and wait for the parade. He goes, honestly, if I'm being totally honest, you're better off going to the Italian restaurant in downtown Disney, throwing back some cocktails. The parade isn't worth it. I said, Adrian, die for you. So he really cut us loose. Maybe it was the feces. Maybe it was the churro consumption. I don't know. So we leave the park around 4:30. We find an Italian restaurant. I figure this is perfect. I can order Clyde a focaccia appetizer and shove him raw with bread just to bind him up, okay? So we are ordering round after round of martinis. We are sucking them down like they are water, okay? We're like, another round. We each are now having multiple martinis. We've got our eggplant parm, we got our chicken parm, we've got the pizzas. We order everything on the menu. The kids are happy, had the best time. Clyde is happy, shits through his pants again. I no longer have pants. We're ending the meal. I said, we're sitting outside. I'm like, I'm just gonna let him sit in this high chair in a diaper. I go to the bathroom. Explosion. Okay, poop literally flies. It takes flight. Like chunks of poop, but then also water. It was like the craziest poopery of different textures, okay? These 2 women walk in, these fucking cunts, and I'm on my hands and knees. Clyde is strapped to the changing table. I'm on my hands and knees picking up particles of poop, and I'm just like, great, I'm going to have pink eye, thinking of all the things, trying to give him a horse bath. I'm taking paper towels with water. Andrew changed every other diarrhea except this one, the grand finale, the fireworks. Really, we didn't need to go to a parade with fireworks because there were fecal fireworks at the Naples Restaurante in downtown Disney. By the way, the custodial staff, you might want to do a once over on the bathroom upstairs because there was shit on the walls. Okay. So I'm like, I'll do it. One diaper I changed that whole day. and I'm on my hands and knees. I'm picking up poop. I'm wiping the walls. I'm trying to like get water on paper towels and give him like a horse bath. He's screaming because he's embarrassed and there's shit everywhere and he's wet and he's got no pants on. I throw away the last pair of Lilo and Stitch fucking pants, burned alive. I say, you know what, Clyde? I got to raw dog you in a diaper. We're going to get the check and we're going to go the fuck home. Okay. And these women walk in and they looked at me like I was the most slovenly, disgusting, like rat whore, unfit mother because the kid's screaming and the legs are flailing and I'm on the ground and there's poop and I have him in a diaper and I'm like, we just have to go back to our table. So I'm now schlepping my son through this restaurant, smelling like shit, in a diaper. And people are looking at me like, who is like, go home. You fucking just, it was not a pretty sight. Okay. We get the check. We go back to our disgraceful hotel room. And I realize this is all really like unrelatable white girl problems. So just like bear with me. We got to fill the clock. You know what I'm saying? I really do have so much to discuss. So much to discuss. We get back to the room. I give Clyde, I'm basically bathing him in Clorox. I'm just like hosing him down, like a pressure wash situation. And then I'm showered. We're all showered. I'm like, the feces is in my soul at this point. So we all like get clean. I run to the lobby to go get I had brought a Super Tuscan as a nightcap. Okay. There's no wine opener. I call down to the housekeeping. I'm like, hey, can we get a bucket of ice, some wine glasses and a wine opener? They say there'll be a surcharge of $20. I'm like, fine, great. A surcharge to bring something that should just already be in the room. Whatever, I'm not going to say anything. Great. I said, yeah, no problem. Send it up. They said, okay, there's a little bit of a wait for room service. And I said, oh, okay, how long is it? And they said, it'll be 85 to 95 minutes. I said, so it's going to be an hour and a half to send up wine glasses and a bucket of ice and a wine opener. And they said at minimum. I said, okay, fine. So now I'm in my pajamas looking like Temple Grandin and I need that wine pretty badly. Clyde is in his pajamas. We're doing nighttime. I run down to the pool bar and I said, who do I have to fuck to open this Super Tuscan and give me some glasses? They give me 2 paper cups and they open the wine. I say, thank you. I leave him $20. I run back up to my room. My tits are flopping everywhere. I've got no bra, no shoes. I'm running for my life. Okay. Get back to the room, pour the Super Tuscan in the paper cups, sit down with Clyde, giving him, me and Andrew are both on each side of Clyde. He's in the bed. We're tickling his back. We're reading him books. And we say, okay, Clyde, time to go night-night. Mommy and Daddy need their wine and we need to deep breathe into a bag. And all of a sudden he looks at us and he goes, "Are you, Mommy?" And then and proceeds to projectile vomit all over me, all over Andrew, all over the Super Tuscan, a vintage bottle that we had been saving. I look at Andrew and I said, Andrew, I'm going to jump out the window. I start hysterically crying. Clyde starts hysterically crying. Now we're all back in the shower again. Okay, now we're round 2. And I don't do well in these situations. It's like my greatest phobia in life. The $2,200 that we spent at the Grand Californian was the best $2,200 that we could ever spend because that room was covered in bodily fluids, okay? So it was a real bang for the buck to be able to experience all of that trauma in a hotel room and not in our own house. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of was the universe rewarding us. But Clyde, we put him down in his crib. He slept through the night. He was totally fine. I was like the poltergeist all night. I could barely breathe, blink. I was so terrified that I was going to get sick, that Andrew was going to get sick. The room smelled. It was so awful. We had a whole next day planned. Okay. We were going to do California Adventure. We had all the reservations. We had the premier passes, blah, 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 blah. I woke up at 7 a.m. I said, Andrew, we need to get in the car and go home immediately. Okay. Clyde wakes up. Mickey Mouse waffles. Mommy, Mickey Mouse waffles. More waffles? More rides? I said, bitch, no more rides for you. Okay. Once you've had vomit focaccia in your Super Tuscan, the only way out is through. We need to go home right now. We backed up the car. I sat in silence, staring through that windshield, wondering what I did to deserve such a shit end of the year. And miraculously, we went on the 29th. We got home the 30th. By the 31st, Clyde was completely back in action. My serotonin levels had evened out. Andrew was fine. Our house guests, my sister-in-law ended up staying with a friend after Disneyland because we didn't know if Clyde had a stomach bug and she didn't want all of our kids to get sick. So we reclaimed ownership of the house. I said, get rid of the Christmas trees, put the stockings away, get rid of the fucking ornaments, call Zoltan and get those Christmas lights down. Christmas is over. Okay. And for New Year's Eve, we stayed home. We watched movies. I made a beautiful lobster spaghetti. I had the caviar from my car. We made little blinis. We made cocktails. We had a beautiful bottle of Billicard Rosé Samon. We cuddled with Clyde. We woke up New Year's Day. It was just a few days ago. And I thought, 2025, see you later. 2026, nay! How do you like that? How do you like it, baby? It feels so good to be back. We have so much more to discuss. Like, I'm going to talk about St. Bart's next week for about 14 minutes because what a bunch of losers. Am I right? And yeah, that's all, folks. I will chat with you next week. I look forward to it. Give us 5 stars on iTunes and share with your friends. Happy New Year, everyone. Love you.